So Shrags, um, I know that Mommy teaches these principles of mind, consciousness, and thought and innate health, and sometimes you guys find it a little bit irritating when all the time you're hearing it's your thinking and mind, consciousness, and thought. But I also think that that you actually see for yourself how powerful thought can be and how it can create feelings in you, and the differences between when you're having productive thinking and when you're having thinking that's not helpful, that makes you feel uncomfortable or nervous. And some people say to me, how do you explain this to kids? Isn't this difficult for children to understand? Because adults sometimes overcomplicate these ideas and find them difficult to comprehend. And I often say to them, no, my kids just get this. They see that their thinking creates their reality and creates certain feelings and experiences for them. It's quite simple for them. So the reason that I wanted to do this with you was to show people that you see this in your life, that it's not something difficult, and that for a 16-year-old boy in his day-to-day life, he sees the power of thought and how it can help him and how it can inhibit him. So I wanted to know if you had any examples that come to mind easily for you that you could share with people about where you've seen how your thinking affects your experience.
Well, talking about in school, I was in a lesson recently, and it was a peculiar type of environment. It was a Jewish studies lesson, and some of the boys there weren't used to what we were doing exactly, and they were behaving very inappropriately. And so originally I was looking at them and I was getting very angry with them because I thought this behaviour is unacceptable, and it really shouldn't be what people of their age and their intelligence and their what they should be doing. And then I realised that what they're doing, they're only doing that because, for example, they haven't had the right upbringing, or they don't understand it. They're still a bit immature, and so I realised that they were just doing it because of their own reasons, and I became less angry because I realised a lot of different reasons why they do them. I judged them favourably, and I was able to lessen my anger, and I became calmer, and therefore I really got rid of all those angry thoughts that I was feeling at that time, and my feelings were much better.
What I hear you saying is that you could see they were doing the best that they could with the thinking they had available to them at that time.
They understand some things that have been available to him and some things not, and so at that time they were just doing what they felt was right because that's what they thought was right, and so they were doing the best with that.
So Kovi, maybe you can just talk for a minute or two about your own thinking, how you experience thinking and state of mind.
Well, I feel that generally in my life I have quite clear thoughts, and that I don't have so many thoughts clogged up in my head. Therefore, it's quite easy for me to make decisions and to go about the different events in my life. For example, sometimes approaching a test, I feel like I have thoughts clogged up in my mind about how I'm going to not do well on the test. But I know that if I carry on with those thoughts are going to become reality, and it is going to affect my test. And therefore, I try quite hard, and it's actually quite easy for me to remove those thoughts quite quickly, and therefore let my abilities do the talking in the actual exam.
And I thought maybe it would be really, really cool for people to see how even a boy of 10 can see how powerful thinking is and how powerful these principles of mind, consciousness, and thought are. And see how easy it is to kind of get a bit of a feel for it and a hang of it. So do you have any kind of examples that have happened to you recently that you could tell people about when you've kind of been swayed by your thinking?
Yes. One was with my friends, and sometimes you get into fights because your best friends, which are the closest to you, are the more you fight because the more you're with them. And they say something not nice about me, and I get very upset, and I don't want to talk to them for the next few days or something. And they really want to be my friend, but I'm just thinking, no, I don't want to be your friend, you're so mean to me. But then after a few days, I realized, what am I doing? I'm so silly because I should just forgive them. What's the point? I'm just losing my friends, and I'm not gaining anything out of being angry. And I realized it's just my thinking in my background telling me, don't be friends, don't be friends. But it loses me so much, all my friends, just for one silly thought can carry the whole thing away. And then I make friends with them, and it's much better now. It's just your silly thinking. One thought that pops into your head can change your whole thing.
What's interesting about what you're saying is it sounds like when you calm down and let go of the angry thoughts, you have a lot of common sense and wisdom that comes
Yeah.
through. Yeah?
Yeah.
And I know that you've spoken to me about that you kind of almost feel, me and you sometimes call them godly thoughts,
Yeah.
but like a higher level of thinking, you know?
Pure thoughts.
Pure thoughts. Tell me how you know when thoughts are purer. Like how would you know that something's a
When
pure
I'm
thought?
in a bad state and I've got all these thoughts jingling in my head, and then I just see one thought which is right and which I know to follow. I can feel that it's just the right thought.
Yes.
And it's like it's got the right it's got the right thing to it, like
right feeling.
feeling to it. And you know that's just the one you have to do, but you have to be in a calm state to actually get that pure thought from your soul, and not just like pick it up. You have to calm down a bit and think like
Yes.
deeply.
So would you say that that thought is kind of always there, but sometimes you don't hear it?
Yeah, because it's much smaller than all the other thoughts. But if you pick it up, it can become much greater than any other thoughts and help you a lot.
Very, very powerful. Thanks, Sim.
Okay.
Thank you.